Hey everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today we are going to talk about two important domains in image processing, the spatial domain and the frequency domain. It's very important to understand the difference between these two domains while mastering image processing techniques. So to begin with, let us start understanding what spatial domain is. In spatial domain, we analyze images directly based on the values of their pixels. This means that we work with the images as it appears in the two-dimensional space of the XY plane. And spatial domain is the domain that most people are familiar with while processing images, and it is a domain in which we perform operations like edge detection, filtering, thresholding, and morphological operations. In spatial domain, we also modify the pixel values for the image directly to achieve whatever result we are intending to achieve. So here is a diagrammatical representation of an spatial domain representation of an image given. So it's an image of rice grain which is represented in spatial domain, and the value of the pixels of the image are shown at the right side of the screen, wherein you can see that 33, 39, 39 are the pixel representation for the grayscale image. Now if you consider the same image in frequency domain, let's see how do we represent. So in the frequency domain, on the other hand, is a domain in which images are analyzed in terms of their frequency components. This means that we look at the image in terms of its sinusoidal wave components represented by the amplitude and phase of its spectral components. In the frequency domain, we use tools like Fourier transform to convert the image from spatial domain to frequency domain. And we perform operations like smoothing, sharpening, and noise reduction in the frequency domain. Now, if you see this image, this is the frequency domain representation of the previous image, whatever we have seen. So here we have seen the image of a rice grain that is represented in spatial domain. The same image in frequency domain will be represented in this way. And we can also see the value associated with each of the converted pixel values is given here. In the right side table, we can see the value associated with each frequency domain corresponding to the pixel values. Now, looking into this, the main difference between the spatial and frequency domain is that in spatial domain, we manipulate the values of the pixels directly, while in frequency domain, we manipulate the image frequency components. Which domain we choose to work is depending on the specific image processing task we are trying to accomplish. For example, if we are trying to remove a high frequency noise from an image, we might choose to work in a frequency domain, whereas we are trying to enhance the edges in the image, we would work in the spatial domain. So in conclusion, the spatial and frequency domains are both important in image processing, and understanding the difference between them is essential for mastering image processing tasks. I hope this video has been helpful in explaining the difference between the spatial and frequency domain in image processing. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.